Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for joining our Pharmacovigilance System Master File webinar for the life science industry. Today, Pharmica consultant Sean Meehan is going to walk us through a presentation and live demonstration, and then he'll field any questions you have along with Pharmica senior consultant Aaron Soto. Please feel free to use the GoToMeeting interface to ask any questions at any time during the presentation, all right? So with that, I will turn it over to Sean.
Thanks, Billy, and welcome everyone to the Practical Approaches to the Pharmacovigilance System Master File webinar. Before we begin, just want to tell you a bit about myself. As Billy said, my name is Sean Meehan, and I'm the Pharmacovigilance lead here at Pharmica. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for about 7 years or so. I've experienced in various Fortune 500 biopharm companies. I'm also a scientific author. In addition to myself, we also have Aaron Soto on the line. And Aaron is a senior consultant with over 10 years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry. And Aaron's the one who actually built the system we're going to demo in just a little bit. Okay, so a bit more about Pharmica. Pharmica has been providing pain relief to the pharmaceutical industry for the past 10 years. And we solve problems by utilizing knowledgeable, friendly, easy to work with subject matter experts. And you can see there where our expertise is: clinical operations, commercial drug safety, medical affairs, program management, pharmaceutical technology, QA compliance, vendor management, and clinical, right there in the bottom right. So since we're talking about pharmacovigilance today, this is some of our experience with pharmacovigilance. You'll see the list there. So as we all know, the PV environment is quickly transforming from a reactive environment to a proactive one. We have the expertise and experience to manage and guide you through this transition. And a recent example of this would be the intrinsic data tool. And this is a great example of a visualization customized software solution that we developed. So like many pharma companies, our client outsourced individual case safety reports. And when they did so, they lost oversight of the overall performance of their vendors. This put our client at a high risk for on-time filings. And like I said before, we implemented an intuitive and effective visual dashboard that provided more visibility and reduced risk. This tool was implemented in 2 phases. The first phase, we were able to raise the compliance rate from around 75% to 85%. And then in the phase 2, we were able to raise compliance rates from 85% to 98% compliance. So let's jump right into the PSMF part of the webinar now. So I'm just going to read this directly from the slide. The PSMF is one of the most critical documents for regulators, and it's generally the first document that is requested in any EU PV audit or inspection. The PSMF is both a representation and a reflection of the PV system. So why was the PSMF created? Well, this was the result of new legislation adopted by the European Medical Agency in 2010. It was implemented in a phased approach with the following objectives: increase stakeholder involvement, industry and regulatory authorities' efficiency gains, and strengthen transparency and communication. So what are the objectives of the PSMF? Through the PSMF, the marketing authorization holder in QPPV should be able to gain assurance that a PV system has been implemented in accordance with the legislative requirements, confirm aspects of compliance in relation to the PV system, obtain information about deficiencies in the system or non-compliance with the requirements, obtain information about risks or actual failure in the conduct of specific aspects of PV. And then moving on to maintenance of the PSMF, It contributes to the appropriate planning and conduct of audits, the fulfillment of supervisory responsibilities with QPV, the fulfillment of inspections or other verification of compliance by national competent authorities. So this is an example of a PSMF structure. You'll see here it's divided in two sections, the core section and then the annex. The core section has 8 subsections, and these are standard sections based on the guidance by the EMA. And the annex section, they are more detailed information as a supplement to these main 8 sections here up top. So many of our clients continue to use Excel worksheets for status tracking during the PSMF maintenance cycle, despite its known inefficiencies and errors. And to be honest, they just, for the most part, have outgrown Excel. Excel is a great program, but it's really not designed for PSMF maintenance. So some common issues we've found with using Excel is performance issues. There's really no way to validate the data that you input into the spreadsheet. Little to no collaboration. There's no process standardization. There's no automation. And really, it's limited in who can see the data. So Excel versus the process optimization tool. So with our tool, we have one central repository. The version control is automated. The status, again, is automated and tracked for you. There's a automated process and it's standardized. This results in a reduced administrative burden. We also have automated alerts. And finally, we have electronic sign-off. So this is an example of a screenshot of our system here. You'll notice the annex section here. You'll see when it was modified, who it was modified by, and then it goes on the accountable person, the study manager, PM reviewer, QPPV review, and then the actual status. And this is great because it's one-stop shopping. All of the information you need is on this screen. It's simple, it's intuitive, it's easy to use. This is an example of a workflow. Now, this can be customized to your needs based on how you do your PSMF maintenance cycle. For this case, we did a 3-tier review system. So you'll see here it starts with the accountable person and goes on to PM review and the QPPV review, and then finally the QPPV e-signature. So at any point, if there is an issue with the content during the QC, it gets kicked back to the accountable person. And again, this can be customized to your needs based on your review process. So let's move into the actual system now and give you a live demo. So again, this is similar to what you just saw. Modified by, accountable person, study manager, PM reviewer, QPV reviewer, review status. Now, it's just so easy to actually change the names on here. Oops, let me just go back. So all you have to do is just click on here. We'll say remove. And in this case, let's just change the PM reviewer to Aaron Soto. We'll click on enter and stop. And it's just that simple. That's how easy it is to change the reviewer or accountable person. Now, if you wanted to change the status, again, it's really, really easy. Just click on properties. And you can change it from pending review, no changes required, PM review, and so on. Just that simple. So let's go ahead and change this back to me for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's actually walk through a sample cycle of the review process. So I'm going to click again on this bar right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start the workflow. So I'm going to click on Advanced, Workflows. I'm going to click on the PSMF review process. And then I'm going to click on Stop. And what I'll receive is an email notification, automated. And it'll say, the EU qualified person of the, you are accountable for the following document. And then I have two options here. I can review the document, or I can modify the document status. So let's go ahead and we will review the document. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to click on Word Online. And we QC it. Okay, everything looks good. So close this out. And we'll go ahead and change the status now. So we'll click on Properties. And we'll say no changes required. And we'll click on Save. And by doing that, we are escalating this to the next tier of review. In this case, it's going to be the PM reviewer. So we did a 3-tier system. We have the accountable person, PM reviewer, and then the QPB reviewer. Again, this system can be customized based on your needs. But for demonstration purposes, we just did the 3 tiers. Okay, so when we clicked on no changes required, that escalates it to the next level, so the PM reviewer. So then we would get an email saying we are the PM reviewer. And then again, 2 options. We need to review the document, or we can change the document status. So let's go back into the document. And we'll say Word Online. Okay, let's just say we noted a change. We did, instead of Mr. Meehan, we'll say Mr. Sean Patrick Meehan. And we'll close it out. And in this case, we noted a change. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the status now to changes required. And click on Save. What that's going to do is it's going to send the document back to the accountable person for that first tier of review. And then you get a notification. You are the accountable person. Please review the document again. Okay. We'll go back in, review the document. Okay, everything looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through that process again. So we'll change the status. And we'll say PM review, save. And then another automated email alert is sent out. Okay, you're the PM reviewer for the following document. And it goes on to list the document name. So let's go ahead and review the document again. Okay, Word Online. All right, we reviewed it. Everything looks good. So now we're going to change the status to the next tier. So say PM review. Now it's going to go to the 3rd tier, QPPB review. And we'll say save. And then an automated email alert is sent out. And it gives you instructions here. Review. If changes are required, change it back. Changes required, and that'll move it to the 1st tier of the review process. Otherwise, we can move on to the sign-off stage. So let's just say we reviewed it and everything's good. So we're going to move this document on to the sign-off stage. We'll click on Save. Stop. And another email alert is sent out. So it'll give you instructions. Click on the document's context menu and select Sign with DocuSign. All right, and then once that's done, change the review status to signed. Also, and notice it's sent to the accountable person that this document is ready for sign-off, just as an FYI. So it's sent to both the QPP reviewer and that first tier of review, just as a heads up. Okay, let's go back here, and we'll say Advanced, sign with DocuSign. Just gotta log in here. Let's try that again. So again, you can click on here. We'll say Advanced, sign with DocuSign. Okay, there we go. We'll say Continue. And we'll say Signature here. And we'll put the date it was signed. And we'll do the same here, signature, and the date it was signed. I'll click on Finish. And this is asking me if I want to send it to anybody else. And no, I don't. So you've successfully DocuSigned. Great. We'll go back to SharePoint. Okay. So we'll receive notice when we sign off. An email will be sent to the QPPV, and it'll say complete it, and it'll give you a copy of the completed document for your records. See it there, date. Also, it'll say, going back to the email before, we have to change the status. So when we actually sign off, we're going to go back and change the status to signed. And we'll click on here, properties again, signed, save. And you'll notice that the document is gone. It's removed from this main page. When we change this status to signed, it actually moves the item to DocuSign documents because it's completed. And you'll see here, a copy of the document is in the DocuSign folder. We'll open it up, we'll take a look. Yep, great. See a copy there. In addition, an automated email alert will be sent out, and it'll say the QPP reviewer, whomever that is, has signed the following document. Now, this whole process is automated. There's no need to actually print out the document, manually sign it, scan it, upload it, email it. It's a huge, huge, huge time savings. So going back to the presentation here, this is just a quick chart of some of the reduction in administrative burden. You'll see here, this is just a sample monthly cycle estimated time. With the old process, on average, it was about 10 hours for the actual creation of email requests. Now this process is optimized, it's automated, there's no need to do that. Now the actual tracking of the email requests, again, old process, about 7 hours or so. Now this is automated, there's no need to track email requests or manually write an email, all automated. Email notification of content updates made. So instead of emailing back and forth with your various stakeholders, it's all automated. The status is right on that main screen. There's no need to manually track that. So the QC cycle and the follow-up, we show a reduction of about half. The same goes for the second PM review cycle, and then finally the third cycle of review. Again, it's cut in half, just the ease and notification. On average, it's cut about half of the administrative burden. Okay, that brings us to the end of the presentation. I will be happy to entertain any questions that you may have.
Great. Thanks, Sean. We got a couple questions come in, and I will go through them. The first is, can you have more than one contact listed under data accountable?
You can, absolutely. The way I demonstrated was just the one person, but we can customize it to your needs, absolutely. More than one is definitely doable.
Okay, great. The next question is, can you customize the documents on your tool?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you had a specific annex that you needed to add, or there was a specific request, absolutely we can customize the documents in that list. No problem.
Okay, next up we have, how long does the system take to install?
I'm going to hand that over to our technical expert, Aaron, and he can better address it.
Sure. Thanks, Sean. The solution was relatively easy to install. As long as you already have a SharePoint environment already set up, we can copy our workflow into your SharePoint environment if we have access to SharePoint Designer. We would also then need to take some time to gather further requirements in case you need to modify the workflow at all, and also we would need to configure some of the workflow steps for the specific client.
All right, great. Oh, sorry, you have more?
No, I was going to say, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, sure. Next up, what browsers is the software tool compatible with?
Again, I'm going to hand that over to Aaron. Aaron, would you mind addressing that, please?
Yeah, sure. Well, we've tested the solution in Internet Explorer as well as Google Chrome. We have not tested it in any other browsers, but if the need arises for a client to use a very specific browser, we could certainly test the solution in their browser and see if we can make the solution work using that browser.
All right, great. And the last question we received for today is, can you customize the tool to add another layer of QC review?
I'll hand that over to Aaron, but yeah, I think that was addressed during the presentation, and you know, absolutely.
Yeah, certainly we can modify the solution to accommodate any other additional review steps or add any other reviewers to the process. We can also customize the emails that are generated by the system to include additional links or information and instructions.
All right, great. Well, that seems to be all the questions we received. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining. I'm going to post this webinar on the Pharmica website. I'll send an email notifying all the registrants. So if you enjoyed the content and know anyone else in your workplace or social media network who might benefit from seeing it, please share it with them. If anyone is interested in learning more about Pharmica and the work we do with the Pharmacovigilance and the Pharmacovigilance System Master File or any of our other areas, please please reach out to myself or Sean or Aaron. And don't forget to check out our blogs, white papers, and future webinars. So again, thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.